Hi, I'm Jerri Hyde, Youth Services Manager at Ames Public Library. Welcome to Well Read, a program about a little bit of this and a little bit of that at your Ames Public Library. This morning we're going to talk about gifts. Gifts that you give, things that are in binding, in a bind, have a cover and have words and pictures, a gift that keeps on giving no matter how long you have it, for any child or for any person. So today I'm going to use the word gift in a different way too, because you can have a gifted person as well. And today our gifted person to share all of books about our gifts is Danielle from our Youth Services Department. So welcome, Danielle.
Thanks, glad to be here.
All right. Well, we have lots of variety of books to discuss today for books for giving, not necessarily copyright this year, although there are a few. So some of them are older, some of them are newer. And some of them are reprints, so that's very exciting as well. But shall we start with our littlest ones?
Yeah, you can definitely start giving books as soon as the baby is born.
Great. So, we are coming up to the holiday season, but this isn't just holiday season type of gift books that you can give. So which one, if you had a new baby in your house, what book would you like to give?
Oh, I would give Pat a Cake. That is a new book, kind of goes off the nursery rhyme, and any nursery rhyme book is a fantastic choice for those very youngest babies. But this one, it takes off Pat a Cake and goes into Pat a Kiwi, Pat a Peach, Pat a Plump Tomato, Pat a Pickle, Cold and Bumpy. That part always makes me shudder a little, but
pickles are little bumpies.
Yes.
But so it takes that wonderful nursery rhyme and goes just one step farther. And many times.
The illustrator, Leanne Pham, is one of my absolute favorites as well. She does really diverse characters. Kids are going to be able to see themselves in the books, and it's a fantastic. She's always a fantastic choice. And the writer, Mary Bridget Barnett.
There we go.
Barrett is also really good. So that's one of my go-to, it's new this year, it's one of my new go-to shower and
type of books. Now, you talked a little bit about that a child can see themselves in the book. And how important is that in a book that you're giving as a gift?
I think it's not imperative. I mean, there are some great books about bears, so No Children Are Bears. Well, some might think they are, but I think it's really important for kids to be able to say, oh, look, that person looks like me. And it's just, it's just a nice thought, I think. And
I know, like during story times, we've all talked about that too, that when we're reading a story that has many diverse characters in it, that their eyes light up and you're right, they see themselves. But now in a book like Llama Llama, they may not see themselves as a person.
But they do this is Llama Llama Wakey Wake, and this series of board books goes over all sorts of things. This is about a child going through the course of their morning. So brushing their teeth, finding nice clean clothes. There are no huge tantrums, which tend to happen in my mornings with my child, but
he does kind of have those eyes that, could be going off into
any
that
moment
tantrum
now.
Area.
But going through that day, so many kids love Llama Llama that he's got a whole series of board books that is a really good choice for a gift.
And then they also have picture books for the older
kids.
Llama Llama.
Just as popular.
Yeah. And now we've kind of used some library terminology there, what a board book is and a picture book is. So I'm going to take a couple seconds here to say a board book is a book that has laminated illustrations on both sides, but it's a harder cover. So it really empowers that child to be able to learn how to turn those pages and without the fear of tearing it up.
Yep.
And what a regular piece of paper or in a picture book might have. So if that child is still in that age where he's trying to manipulate those pages, board books are really the answer for
Definitely.
that. And knowing that the text should be simple, not a full-blown book. Like as this, there's only a few words on each page. lots of colorful illustrations and things children, again, can relate to, whether or not it's themselves or how they behave.
Yep.
We have another one here, Karen Katz. I know that's one of our favorites too.
Definitely. I would say if you're really stuck for a book and you're thinking, can't find a book, and you see Karen Katz, pick that one up. 9 times out of 10, there are either some sort of flap or how does baby feel, Jerry?
I don't know.
Some sort of flap or other manipulative thing, and that's always a good thing to look for in a gift book too. Sometimes we offer them at the library. Sometimes they're not always in the best shape because they're so well loved. But so you could buy that as a gift, and then your child, you guys can lift those flaps or feel the bumpy things together.
And as you can see, one of our pages, when you said it wasn't in good shape, we've already lost that flap.
Yeah.
But there are lots of flaps in Karen Katz's books, and it does give you that question and then the answer. So a learning experience is happening in that wonderful interaction as well. So let's go ahead and go to our larger books, or our picture books for our older children. And now I understand that you seem to think this may be a hot book.
I always try to predict the award winners, the Caldecott. 9 times out of 10, I'm not even close. But I do think this is a fantastic book. This is 3 Bears in a Boat, and it just has beautiful illustrations with some fun little things that it sneaks in there for the parents as well. So, and it's just a good story about 3 siblings who break something of their mother's, and then they go on a quest, on a journey to replace it. So.
And this journey could be in their mind. It could be a real journey.
Yeah, you don't really know.
We use our imagination a lot in this story of our 3 little guys. And now, is this the page that?
Yeah, this is probably my favorite. That boat there is called the Melville, and it has the bears are the characters from Moby Dick.
So lots of references to other
seagoers,
classics, other seagoer type of things. And we're not going to tell you what they do to resolve their problem.
No, you'll have to read it to find out.
That's right. And it was a book that I've highlighted as well, 3 Bears in a Boat by David Soman. Very interesting, and I guess I hadn't even thought about it as a Caldecott possibility. I just really enjoyed it. With the water, it moved me, and it took me into the story, which that's what a Caldecott is supposed to do. So.
One hopes. And the other thing is this illustrator is the illustrator of the Ladybug Girl books, which are a very popular series for kids. And they're fun books, and I'm excited to see that he's moving in a new direction as well.
Yeah, and it's a very totally different type of illustration
different
from the 2 and different stories. So the 3 Bears in a Boat by David Soman, and it's a brand new book, so it's copyright this year, so I'm sure you'll be able to find that easily, as you will all of these. We've double-checked to make sure that you can get them and purchase them.
As of 2 weeks ago,
As of 2 weeks ago, they were still available, any of these that we're talking about, which we also have a bookmark for, or a book list, and they will also be on our website. So let's go on. What other picture book would you like to talk about?
Well, if you want to grab The Great Thanksgiving Escape.
This guy here.
I just want to highlight, it's such a fun thing if you happen to be buying a gift around a holiday. So maybe if you are going to see some people and you want to get them a gift around Thanksgiving, this would be a great choice. This is a brand new one. It's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
And it's about this poor little guy who is not excited.
You can tell that he's not very excited.
At this Thanksgiving at Grandma's, which, isn't always the message you get in a Thanksgiving book. But as you go through, you see that he's put in the room with his younger cousins who are all younger than him until he meets up with an older cousin, and they are going to escape.
Right here.
Yeah.
But they escape by going through different rooms in the house. And when I read through it, I could identify, and my mind went back to my childhood as to the things that we did and not wanted to do. So it's very personable as far as bringing experiences Well, I'm assuming that everybody has similar experiences at holidays.
The Hall of Aunts, you're trying to get through. The only thing that's not covered is every Thanksgiving I would call my great aunt Dolores by my grandmother's name because they look alike to be twins, and that would
that wasn't
freak me out a little bit.
But they got the pinching of the cheek and the wall of butts. I thought that was funny. Then they go
this
down.
This is maybe
into
my favorite.
Cautiously peeked around the corner, and the zombies. And
so it's all those teenagers who are watching something, and I hate to say, I have some cousins who are quite a bit younger than me, and then there are about 7 of us born in 5 to 8 years who at some points in our holiday career, this would have been us.
Would have been you.
With all zoned out in front of the TV. I was reading, but I was still in front of the television.
So it really captures the essence of a holiday get-together from a child's perspective. And then they finally get to, and I'm going to tell the ending of this one, they finally do get to where they want to go, but unfortunately it's raining. But they decide, being kids, that's also something that we can do.
And so you can kind of take it away at the end. They're thankful to be outside and having fun with their cousin. So you can make it into a feel-good Thanksgiving story.
The Great Thanksgiving Escape by Mark Fearing. Again, a brand new book, so it's definitely in the bookstores for purchasing.
And definitely, there are tons of great holiday books as well. We have a good selection. So you might find Hanukkah books or Christmas books or whatever holiday you're wanting to highlight. That would be a good.
Yes,
it's
definitely.
Always fun
books of any sort are gifts worth giving. So no matter what kind of gift you're giving. So one I'd like to have you talk a little bit about, I found this book fascinating.
We're headed into some of our maybe nonfiction, which is also a great gift choice, and this is maps. And one of the librarians here actually said that she brought it with her to a babysitting. She was babysitting some kids, and they looked at it for about 2 hours, I think she said. And it's just a book of maps, and it starts.
Yeah, it's pretty simple here in the beginning, but once you get past
keep going. So this is Iceland, and so it has all these pictures of different places and things that are maybe important in Iceland, and also like the language. And so it's just a great one to really pore over if you have someone in mind who's really likes to think about things. So you see, like, there's some Swedish food in there. I see some maybe boysenberry jam in the corner.
It's got geological type of formations and historical places, and it tells just a little bit to give you that fact or what it is. For if you are interested, then you want to spring to the next book.
Definitely.
Or, to go do some
keep
research. Going. And I can imagine taking hours and hours looking through it. So it's on the idea of like a Where's Waldo, only you're not looking for a specific character. You're looking for the essence of Finland in this case. But the little characters are children and adults alike, and famous explorers and famous inventors, and just all over the place as far as what the possibilities of. It's almost like a trivia book, but it's not a trivia book.
It just gives you enough. And I'm kind of weird. I got really into looking for all the food that was in it, and so there's something for everyone. Like if you look, I think, is this Norway? This is the Netherlands. So if you're interested in animals, they've got speed skaters, just anything, wooden clogs.
Yeah, the Dutch would love to ride bicycles, and the flower market and the tulip club. So you really find the essence of each of the countries. And I know my mom is interested in genealogy and stuff, and I was showing this to her, and that's what she was looking. Well, this is where we're from, and so there's so many different venues that you could go to.
The reasons why you want to look at it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating book, and so that's Maps, and it's just we have it here
I
again
think, yeah.
to check it out. And
It's new too. I think it's either 2013 or 2014 is the year it came
actually,
out.
when we were discussing it, it was published in another over in
Oh,
Europe
okay.
first in 2012, and then it was published here in the United States in 2013.
Perfect.
So I did a little bit of my research. So we have some other fascinating picture books and nonfiction books. The other one, I like the one about the fairy tales and the cooking.
Oh, definitely. So it's Fairy Tale Feasts, and it's by Jane Yolen. And it's a book of fairy tales, but along with just, they have really nice retellings of some fairy tales, some that you might know, some that you don't. The one I always think of is the Magic Porridge Pot is in there. But then along with the Magic Porridge Pot, along with the written fairy tale, is a recipe for porridge. So they just put those two things together, and I just thought, well, this would be a fantastic thing maybe for someone to give and then say, okay, we're going to read a story or two, and then we'll make some recipes. Like if you want to do that, it's a special occasion, something like that.
I was thinking, again, as a grandparent, that it would be a very interesting book to have in your home during the holiday season, or a visit from the family and stuff, and be able to read, because the stories are only like a page or two pages.
Yeah, they're very
so
nice and short.
Yeah, they wouldn't take very long. And then to do that activity afterwards of making the different, you could do one a day, and it could be very doable as far as wonderful experiences and memories to make. So, well, I think we need to probably jump up into our juvenile fiction and our teen or a YA, and both of these age groups are kind of hard.
They are.
Necessarily to purchase for. So tell us about your choices as to what books you might give for these ages.
Well, I grabbed this Nancy Drew book, and they still are so popular. So, and the first, I think 4 or 5 now, the first 4 or 5 Nancy Drew have new beautiful covers like this. So kind of just really attractive.
They've updated it to looking from what was
this
from
to
when my
this.
childhood to a new current look. And from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, the language is not necessarily updated totally.
No, I mean
they didn't rearrange.
I think they just did the inside. The outside.
Outside.
So don't worry, Nancy Drew is still slim with red hair and then her sporty friend George. And I read a lot of these.
And they are still doing the same mysteries and taking care of them in the same way. So the story itself hasn't changed.
Yeah. And I grabbed these because it's a good example of, so think about maybe a book that you loved as a child and see if that's still in print. Sometimes they aren't, but a lot of times they are, and it can make for a great discussion if you read that with someone that is younger than you. You just have to go into it knowing that they're not necessarily going to adore it quite as much as you did.
Times have changed, but it does give you that connection,
and
books give everyone, and that experience together.
And that.
So let's see, you've got some nonfiction ones as well, some very interesting ones.
I grabbed this Weird But True, 300 Outrageous Facts.
And that is awesome story too. There's lots of fun things.
Yeah, it's just very simple. Each page has a different fact, and it's just stuff like Queen Marguerite of Savoy ordered the first pizza delivery. And so it's just a really fun book. They don't stay on the shelves, so take a look. Especially like those, maybe a hard to find book, a boy who maybe, or boy or girl who's maybe not a huge fan of reading, but they might love something like this. Toe wrestling is a competitive sport.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
So, and again, this really doesn't have an age specific.
No,
I bet a 4 or 5 year old would be fascinated by the pictures, as well as even an adult would enjoy this type of book too. So. The kids, it's a National Geographic Kids, which we all know is a very good publisher, and Weird But True 2. So we know we've had 1 as well. So.
Oh, there's so many of them. Let's see. Another one I wanted to point out was the Akimbo and the Elephants, and that is a series by Alexander McCall Smith, and it's just So that's the same person who wrote a series of books for adults. And so that's also something that you can do is always, you may maybe double check to see if your favorite adult author has written some books for kids. And that doesn't always mean that they're going to be great books. This series happens to be really good.
And the book, I'm sure many of our mystery lovers will know who the author is. It's the #1 ladies detective agency.
Yes.
When I looked at this, I thought, oh, people are, our older mystery people will really like to see what they're writing for children.
Yeah.
And that's something that lots of authors are doing now. They're not only writing for the adult clients or audience, but they're also writing for the juvenile fiction and the young adult. So let's go ahead and transition to our young adult books.
All right. Well, this is Jay, but the Savage Fortress, really quickly. If you have a Percy Jackson fan in your house, I wanted to make sure to talk about that. It's like Percy Jackson, only with India. So the mythology is from India.
So, and you can tell that there's Danielle's J picks. That means that she's put it on her on our pick shelf. Which, so if you see any of Danielle's books, if you like what she's showing you now, you will be able to go to the pick shelf and find anything that Danielle likes, and you'll see what she likes and be able to choose those as well.
Definitely.
And the Fifth Wave is a very interesting story too.
It is. It is high action, and this is definitely a great book for teens. It's high action, high adventure, aliens. You don't really know who to trust through the whole thing. So if you have kids who maybe liked The Hunger Games or Divergent, something like that, this might be a great choice for them.
So let's get a little bit lighter too. I know there's things called graphic novels.
Definitely.
And Sisters over there intrigues me because it's about sisters that
They may not get together and get along. Yeah. So this is actually a sequel to Raina Telgemeyer's very well-loved Smile. So she does realistic fiction, graphic novels, great art, and it's hard to keep these on the shelf. So you don't have, this one can be read without reading the first one. In fact, it's not even necessary to read them in order or anything. Just pick it up. So if you have a kid who likes realistic family stories, this would be one to pick up.
And I talk about it being a graphic novel, and that's because it's
got the pictures.
The pictures in a long enough story that it's not a comic book. It is actually a novel, and they are defined as graphic novels, which are very hot types of books nowadays.
Definitely.
Especially for our reluctant readers, but also for lots of people. So, so we've got lots and lots of books here to give to our families, to maybe that grandchild or niece or nephew or a significant friend's children. So lots and lots of different books. And again, we can find it on a book list here at the library or online, or also at our Bus Books blog that we have. So many, many different ways. But we have lots of gifts in the library too. Danielle's not the only one that's gifted in this area of talking about books and sharing what would be best for you or for your child or a child that you would like to give a book to. So come on in, and we would love to share with you some of our books and give you the gift that keeps on giving, the book. So until next time, happy reading, and we'll see you then.